All right, so Ohio State won by 1,000,000. They play Rutgers next week. At home? At home? At home. At Ohio Stadium. Who are we thinking about already? Who caught our eye on Saturday that we want to watch for Rutgers? Bill Landis.
Thinking about Malcolm Pridgen, started at left guard against who they play, Oregon State. And this wasn't a game where the offensive line was really going to be tested, I think. Oregon State last year was awful pass rushing, and they looked just as awful today. Dwayne Haskins had a clean pocket for most of the game. But I thought Pridgen held up well. There's two brand new guys. It's him and Thayer Munford. But I was watching Pridgen a little bit. Held up fine in pass protection for the most part. I thought he looked really good getting out in space, blocking for guys in the run game. And Rutgers, I think, is certainly better than Oregon State. And I think Chris Ash is going to have a little something for Ohio State's offense next week, coming off of playing Texas State. Thinking could devote some time to planning for Ohio State. So they're going to throw something at an offensive line that's still pretty inexperienced. So I want to watch Malcolm Pridgen and see if he can build off what I thought was a pretty good game here today.
So I'm curious about Jordan Fuller, who didn't play Saturday. Can he, fix the back end by being healthy? And they expect him to be back for Rutgers next week. But I'm going to talk more about a guy who did play Saturday. Is Mike Weber awesome now? Is Mike Weber, people are put Mike Weber in the Heisman race? Someone I follow who does draft stuff was Mike Weber looks like a first-round draft pick. Is Mike Weber Carlos Hyde? Carlos Hyde ran for 1,300 yards here. I'm not sure. I thought he had some big holes, which that's not that's not a negative for the running back that your offensive line blocked. I'm not on the bandwagon of Mike Weber's better than J.K. Dobbins at the moment. I think maybe when he hits a hole, he's gone. I'm curious when they play a defense that's going to not have gaping holes, what happens. I still feel like maybe J.K. Dobbins slides through some of those holes better than Mike Weber, but maybe I'm wrong. I've underestimated Mike Weber at times in the past. I'm curious if he's awesome or if that was a good player having a great day against a terrible team, or if that's a good player who's going to be really good against everybody. Tim Bielik.
I'm going to go defense. I'm going to say Pete Werner. And I know we did the video Saturday, asking our levels about how worried we were about the defense. I said it was a 7 because I was really concerned about the back 7 play, particularly on those 2 long touchdowns Oregon State had in the third quarter. Now, I think Rutgers' offense is not as good as Oregon State's. I think they were in the low 30s against Texas State on Saturday. And Werner was a guy playing his first start. Kind of a surprise guy in a way. We really didn't think he was going to be a starter until about 2 weeks prior to the season. And this was a guy, in addition to Baron Browning, both sophomores, Werner saw the field even less than Browning, and then he became a starter. So you wonder if that's a chance for a young guy to really really learn what he did wrong in his first game, improve on it in the second game, because the usual football axiom is you make the most growth from game 1 to game 2 or year 1 to year 2. So I'm looking for Werner and the linebackers as a whole really to see if they can take a step up and maybe lick their wounds a little bit against Rutgers.
Keep watching all week. We'll be covering the Buckeyes. You be watching us. We'll be watching them. Bye.